Long ago, in the green hills of KwaZulu-Natal, there was a small village called Zinhle. The people kept cattle, farmed the land, and respected their ancestors. In the village lived a girl named Zinhle. She was very beautiful and kind, but she was also proud. Many young men wanted to marry her, strong warriors, hard-working herd boys. But Zinhle refused them all. "I will not marry an ordinary man," she said. "I want someone greater, someone different." The elders warned her. Old Gogo Makimalo said, "My child, be careful what you say. The ancestors are always listening." But Zinhle did not listen. One evening, as the sun set and the cattle returned home, a stranger came to the village. He was tall, handsome, and quiet. His name was Sibusiso. "I have traveled far," he said. "I am looking for a wife." The villagers welcomed him. They gave him food and traditional beer, but he did not eat or drink. He only watched Zinhle, and Zinhle felt drawn to him. Within days, he asked to marry her. He offered many cattle for Labola, more than anyone had ever seen. Her family agreed. The wedding was full of singing, dancing, and joy. But Gogo Makimalo was worried. She noticed that Sibusiso never really ate. He only pretended. Something about him felt strange. After the wedding, Sibusiso said it was time to go to his home. They walked past the river, past the hills, past the last house of the village. The night grew very quiet. No crickets sang. No wind blew. No animals made a sound. Zinhle felt afraid. "Where is your home?" she asked softly. "Not far," he said. But his voice sounded strange now. They reached a valley full of thick mist. There were no houses, no fires, no animals, only silence. Sibusiso stopped. Slowly, his feet lifted off the ground. His shadow disappeared. His eyes became pale like the moon. "I am not a man," he said. "I am a spirit of this valley." Zinhle's heart froze. Shadows moved in the mist. "You wanted someone greater," the spirit said. "Now you belong to my world." The valley was cold and dark. There was no sun, no warmth, no birds. Days passed, or maybe months. Zinhle could not tell. She was alone, surrounded by mist and shadows. Then she remembered something her grandmother had told her. Spirits fear the fire of the living. One night, when the spirit was resting, Zinhle picked up a small burning ember. She held it close to her chest and shouted, "Ancestors of Zinhle, help me." The ember grew into a bright flame. The shadows screamed. The mist shook. Zinhle ran. The spirit called her name, but she did not look back. She ran toward the sound of a rooster crowing. When the sun rose, she crossed the river back into her village. The spirit could not follow her into the light. The villagers were shocked to see her. She looked tired, older, and quiet. The elders burned Impefo and prayed. They cleansed her of the spirit's power. From that day, Zinhle was never proud again. The people of Zinhle told her story for many generations. They learned to be careful with their words, never to marry a stranger without knowing him, and to remember that not every handsome man is human. Some belong to the spirit world, waiting in the mist and shadows for hearts they're too proud. Zinhle thought she was safe. She returned to her village, and the sun shone brightly. She helped with the cattle and worked in the fields. She tried to forget the valley and the spirit. But deep inside, a cold fear stayed with her. One evening, as she sat by the fire, she felt a chill in the air. The shadows in the corners of her hut seemed to move. She heard a whisper, soft, low, calling her name, "Zinhle, Zinhle." Her heart froze. It was Sibusiso. The spirit had returned. At first, he appeared only as a shadow at the edge of the firelight. Then he grew taller, his pale eyes glowing in the darkness. Zinhle tried to run, but the village felt strange. The mist followed her even here. The spirit could cross the world of the living at night. The villagers were afraid. They saw Zinhle trembling and crying. Gogo Makimalo gathered the elders. "The spirit is not finished with her," she said. "We must do a ritual to protect her. Only the ancestors can help now." The next morning, the elders prepared for the ritual. They cleaned the ground and lit fire in the center of the village. They burned Impefo and sang old songs that called the spirits of their ancestors. Zinhle sat quietly, holding a small bundle of herbs the elders had given her. She was told to breathe slowly, to focus on the fire, and to remember the words of her grandmother. The fire of the living will protect you. As night fell, the spirit appeared again. This time, he tried to reach her, moving faster than before. But the elder's fire glowed brighter, and the singing grew louder. Zinhle felt the heat of the fire wrap around her like a shield. The spirit screamed and twisted, but he could not touch her. The ancestors' power filled the village. Shadows fled, and the mist melted into the night. Sibu Siso's voice became faint, weak, until finally he vanished with a long, cold wail. The fire burned on, glowing until morning sun rose. When the villagers saw the sunrise, Zinhle was safe. Her hair was messy, her clothes torn, but her eyes were clear. She had survived the spirit's return. The elders completed the ritual, pouring sacred water over her and praying again. The ancestors had sealed her protection. From that day on, Zinhle lived carefully. She helped the village, learned from the elders, and never let pride guide her heart. And the villagers remembered, even the bravest girl could not face a spirit alone. Only the ancestors, the fire, and the wisdom of the elders could protect her. And sometimes when the wind blew through the hills, people would whisper, "The spirit still waits, but Zinhle is protected, and he cannot touch her again." When the villagers saw the sunrise, Zinhle was safe. Her hair was messy, her clothes torn, but her eyes were clear. She had survived the spirit's return. The elders completed the ritual, pouring sacred water over her and praying again. The ancestors had sealed her protection. From that day on, Zinhle lived carefully. She helped the village, learned from the elders, and never let pride guide her heart. She knew now that even the bravest girl could not face a spirit alone, and that only the ancestors, the fire, and the wisdom of the elders could protect her. And that's how Zinhle survived, and she learned her lesson the hard way. She understood that pride could lead a heart into danger, and that the world was larger and stranger than she had ever imagined. From that day on, she walked more carefully, listened to the elders, and respected the wisdom of the ancestors. She no longer chased after someone just because he seemed greater or different. She learned to see the true worth of a person, not just the gifts or appearances. Life returned to the village. The cattle grazed peacefully. The children played by the river, and the songs of the people filled the hills again. As time passed, Zinhle grew stronger, wiser, and kinder. One day, a young man came to the village. He was humble, hard-working, and gentle. Not the tallest or richest, but he had a good heart and a bright spirit. Zinhle saw something in him she had never noticed in herself before: patience, care, and honesty. Over time, they grew close, sharing laughter and simple joys, helping each other with the farm, and listening to the elders' stories together. When they finally married, it was not a grand display of wealth or pride, but a quiet, joyful union built on respect, love, and understanding. Zinhle never forgot the spirit of the valley, the fear she had felt, or the power of the ancestors, but she also never forgot the lessons she had learned about humility, courage, and the true meaning of choosing a life partner. And so, Zinhle lived her days in peace, surrounded by family, friends, and the blessings of her village. Carry her story as a warning and a guide for generations to come.